Tree Eatery, we make our own bacon. We put it in our sandwiches, on our burgers, in our pizzas. People say it is the best bacon they've ever had. So in this course, I'm going to teach you how to cure it and smoke it. If you're lucky enough to live 5 minutes down the road from somebody who raises pigs for sale, well, then you'll end up with some good product. But you can always go to a butcher shop or to the grocery store and you can ask for pork belly. If they don't have it in stock, it's possible they can get it for you. But what you want is you want to get 5-pound slabs of pork belly. I get them, they're in a whole side of pork belly, and it looks like this. It's been cryovac, so to keep it well. And when I open it up, it'll be one big slab, which I'm going to cut in half, because this is about 10 pounds of slab here. One of the special ingredients you're going to need to cure your bacon is sodium nitrate. It's another name for it is pink salt. It's very important that you use it in the curing process because you are going to be smoking your bacon at a low temperature. The importance of using nitrates in curing meats is for flavor. It preserves the redness, the color of the meat, and it also prevents botulism and these tiny microorganisms that will attack your meat. It's a pink color, and so not to be confused with other salts, because ingested in small amounts it's not harmful. In large amounts it is. So that's why you want to keep this candy colored pink stuff away from children and from dogs. The basic dry cure for your bacon consists of 225 grams of kosher salt or rock salt. It's important to weigh it out as opposed to just measuring out volumes, because a cup of one type of salt is going to be a different weight than another brand. Alright, so we'll put our rock salt in. 113 grams of granulated sugar or dextrose. You can use dextrose. I prefer granulated sugar. Dextrose is just a little less sweet. And 25 grams of pink salt. And it's important that you use the right ratio of this, because this stuff can be harmful if consumed in large quantities. Alright, so we stir that together really well. And now our dry cure is ready to be put onto the pork belly. So we'll cut right into that. Pull it open. And as you see, we have one whole side of pork belly. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to cut it in half, because this is going to be way too big to put into a smoker, and it's also going to be a little bit cumbersome to put into your refrigerator like this. Easier to deal with if you have smaller pieces. Just like that. I like to get my pork belly lean, so I have the butcher slice off a lot of the top layer of fat. Okay, so you're going to need 1/4 cup of your dry cure to cover a slab of bacon. It's approximately 5 pounds. And we're just going to sprinkle it like this. The dry mix that I made up there is enough to do about 6 of these bellies, or portions. And you want to sprinkle it on your belly as evenly as possible. So you want to try and get an even coverage. Let's pat that down there. Keep sprinkling. Another thing that the dry cure is helpful with is preventing a rancid flavor from going into the fat of the belly. Try and get some on the sides, like that. The other thing you could do, if you have a bag, you could just put the salt in a bag and the belly and just shake it all around to get it coated. I have trouble finding bags that big around here, so I'm going to do it this way. Alright, so we've got our dry cure mixture onto our belly, and now we can add the savory stuff. If you like a sweet belly as opposed to a savory belly, add more sugar or maple syrup to your bacon, and it gives it a nice sweet taste. I like savory, so that's the route I go. I've got some chopped up garlic. It's just a rough chop. Put a bit of that on there. You can use whatever you want. This is just something I like to do. I think garlic imparts a really nice flavor to the belly. Use some dried, crushed up bay leaves. Some black pepper, which I ground in a spice grinder. I like to add some rosemary because it imparts a nice woody flavor. Get that on there. And just a little bit of juniper berries. It's kind of going to give it a pancetta type of taste. I'm going to cover it up with plastic so that I don't lose the spices that I just put on. This, and very gently we are going to flip this over like that. There we go. And then we'll cover the other side. Oh, we're good to go. So we'll just cover that up like that. There we go. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to cover it again with some more plastic wrap. And after this, I'm going to put it into a plastic container. Plastic is good, so is glass. Try to avoid metal. Metal will impart a metallic flavor to your meat, and will also become pitted from the salts that are in the meat. You want to put it into a container because the salt sucks water out of the belly and can be quite messy. Alright, so now the bacon got its cure and its seasonings on it. We're going to put it into the refrigerator where it will stay for the next 7 days. It's important to flip the bacon every second day to redistribute the cure. We're going to leave it there. We'll check it in 7 days, and if it's firm enough, it'll be ready to smoke. Or if you don't have a smoker, you can put it into an oven. But you can leave it up to 10 days as well if it's not ready. After 7 to 10 days, your belly should be nice and firm. And if you press down on it, it should feel like hard, and that's what you want. So at this point, we're gonna, and this is very hard, so it's ready to go. We're gonna take the plastic wrap off of it. We're going to rinse it off in cold running water really, really well. I use a big colander to catch the seasoning so that it doesn't all go down the drain. So the seasonings at this point have already done their job, so you don't really want to leave them on. You're going to make sure that we get all this stuff off. Just let all the water fall off of it. We're going to put it onto some nice clean paper towels, and we'll just pat it dry. Get rid of the excess moisture. All right. Now we will put it onto the rack that's going to go into the smoker, like that. Oh, okay. Get rid of it. All right, and at this point I'm just going to put it into the fridge while we get the smoker ready for smoking. Let it air dry a bit. I like to use a Bradley smoker, and I use Applewood biscuits, as they're called. I put enough biscuits in for approximately 4 hours of smoking if I'm doing 4 bellies. I'm doing 1 belly today, so I'm going to put in enough for 2 hours. I'm going to set the smoker temperature at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and this should take about 20 minutes to heat up with this kind of smoker. Once the smoker is ready and there's lots of smoke and the temperature is up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, we're going to put the belly into the smoker. And it should take an hour or so for the 1 belly. If you have a lot of belly in your smoker, and the one that I use will take 4 bellies, it could take up to 4 hours to smoke all of them. And because there's a heating element in the bottom, you want to rotate it, otherwise one part will be overdone. So you take the bottom one, put it on top, and then move them all down. And you do this every hour on the hour so that you have an even cooking and smoking of the belly. So this has been smoking for almost 3 hours. And so now we're going to check its internal temperature. Once it reaches 150 degrees, it's done. So we're going to put it into the thickest part of the meat, right there. All right, we have reached 150 degrees Fahrenheit. It's ready. Congratulations, you now have bacon, but you have to be patient because it needs to cool before you can cut into it. So at this point, we're just going to leave it for about an hour, and then we'll wrap it up in plastic wrap, and we'll put it in the fridge. That's where it's going to stay for 24 hours, and then we'll cut into it. All right, our bacon has been cured, it's been smoked, and now it's been cooled for 24 hours. We're ready to portion it up and slice it, or whatever you want to do with it. What I like to do is to cut it into smaller portions and then wrap it up in plastic and freeze it. So you want a really, really sharp knife, and you're going to cut it like this. Now check this out. Look at that. Look at that bacon. It's beautiful. So this is what I'd like to do, is just to cut it into chunks like this. And you can keep it in your refrigerator for a couple of weeks, or you can put it into your freezer. It doesn't take long to thaw it out. When you're ready, then you just put it into your fridge, thaw it out, and you're good to go. Or you could slice it up as well. I like to slice mine by hand. So I'm going to slice a chunk just like this. I like to go through it a couple of times. Look at that. It's ready to be fried up.